Why did Bed Bath & Beyond fail? Well, there's a lot of reasons why, but ultimately it comes down to there's not enough demand for the Bed Bath & Beyond products because people stopped shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond and instead they went to Amazon. And yeah, we can look at other things like there was bad cash flow management. They spent a lot of money, $625 million on stock buybacks when they could have used that money to invest in their e-commerce store. They could have done a lot of things differently. But ultimately, if people kept shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond, they would have still been alive. But because the demand for Bed Bath & Beyond products fell, they didn't have the ability to continue running their operations the way that they were, and they weren't able to find a solution, so they ultimately failed. This is what happens when demand falls. You see profits go down, you see revenues go down, and sometimes you will see businesses fail. And along the way, that could also mean layoffs, that could also mean divisions getting cut. And this is that plan that the Federal Reserve Bank has, where right now they are working to raise interest rates to do one thing: cool down inflation. And if you don't get inflation down, you're going to have much bigger economic problems in the future. That's why it is so important that the Federal Reserve Bank has to get inflation down, because fighting an inflation problem is more difficult and more significant than fighting a recession. We know how to get out of a recession. We've been in a recession pretty much every decade for the last century. Recessions happen. It's a part of our economic system. And the reason why recessions become so much bigger and so much worse is because we try to desensitize ourselves from risk. When we try to avoid the idea of having economic pain, when we try to create stimulus programs and more economic stimulus to avoid a recession, that just makes the bubble bigger. And now here we are today, where we're facing what a lot of people call the everything bubble, because over the last number of years, we have seen the valuations of assets across the board skyrocket. And then now the Federal Reserve Bank has to now prick the bubble, and they have to bring inflation down. Yes, this means more economic pain. Earlier this year in 2023, Senator Elizabeth Warren grilled Jerome Powell. And the reason why it was interesting was because Jerome Powell, in their annual report, the Federal Reserve Bank's annual report, said that they expect unemployment levels to go up to the mid 4.5% by the end of 2023. And what that means when you have 3.5% unemployment rates, which is kind of where we are right now, is that about 2 million Americans are going to have to lose their jobs in order to see 4.5% unemployment. And she was saying, how do you feel knowing that 2 million Americans are going to lose their job? Now, again, the job losses are a byproduct of the bad financial planning processes that we had previously. This is now, how do you fix the problem? Well, you have to do the opposite of what caused the problem. And that means, yes, you got to pull money out of the economic system. Yes, that is painful. And that's difficult because we're in an environment in society where nobody wants to feel pain. Nobody wants to go through a downturn. But the reality is recessions are like a refresh to our economic system. It is a way for our economy to restart, for the dumb investments to fail, for the bad businesses to fail. And that creates opportunities for the new business opportunities, the new investments to thrive, and the smarter investors to thrive. Because if you live in an environment where nobody loses, where no business loses, and there's so much free money everywhere, you build a big bubble. And then when you keep trying to propagate that same system, the bubble keeps getting bigger. And yeah, you can keep inflating a bubble, but eventually the bubble's going to have to burst. And the bigger the bubble is, the bigger the burst. And this is where now understanding that while you have a lot of people saying, there's not going to be that much pain, there might just be a soft landing, it's going to be a mild recession, just understand that there's still a lot of issues in our economy right now. If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you got to do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.